Alright. Julio. Alright. Oh my god. Alright, let me break down price. And then I can go back to bed because I'm dead. But anyways, so we're gonna start off on the weekly. Pretty much I have the same ideas. Just do this real quick. Pretty much have the same ideas as yesterday. In regards to this weekly candle, just making a bottom wick and eventually making a flip towards this area, right? 27.18. Looking on the higher time frames, obviously I'm going to get more data as I go down. There's something going on here in this area. So it's very key for me to throw down a line there, just to have it as reference as we drop down into the lower time frames. And anything below that, probably unlikely to happen today. Actually, you know what? I'll be wrong because we have news, right? So can't neglect that this zone is alive and well, and we could potentially get trades down in here. But like I said, we got to drop down to lower time frames and allow lower time frame data to essentially tell us what is, you know, possible, what could possibly happen today. So this is the weekly. This is my idea. We're in this range kind of, right? Like we had this pullback after driving up. One candle kind of just bumped it up, and ever since then we've been pretty much just ranging, right? So we're kind of just stuck in this range here. And when we go down to the lower time frame, we'll see we have more data, especially in this area. But let's drop down there actually not right now. So the daily is bullish. Like my bias, I'm still looking at this from what happened last week, right? We have pretty much all last week we were bullish, and the beginning of this week, which was yesterday, this candle, Monday, we basically just pulled back. So that tells us a lot, because that tells me that our price is exhausted. So if we are truly going to go back up, we should be getting bullish closures here on the following days ahead. And then eventually towards maybe the later, like the end of the week, we make our way back up to 27.18. And what that will do is eventually it'll make this candle flip. So all this would have been is just the bottom wick. And all it is on the daily is pullback. But I'm looking at this daily right now, and it hasn't created a bottom wick, and it hasn't even come into this area since yesterday. So we still have 9 hours left. Looking at this daily simply is knowing that, okay, like majority of the candles that form, they create bottom wicks. Majority of the candles form, they create bottom, they create top wicks. There's always wicks on the candles. Majority of them, like you could say like 95% of them, right? Except there was one here I just seen. This candle didn't form one, but then after that, how many of them formed? Pretty much all of them except this one. But it's still forming, right? So we don't know if it's gonna form or not. But the likelihood of it actually happening, it's probably, you know, more probable than not. Oops. So that's something to keep in mind as well, right? But like these two candles, right? They didn't form with bottom wicks. But then the candles following, right? They all formed until when? Until this one had a little one, until this one. So it's just something to keep in mind. Nothing to dwell over too much. But the idea would be on the daily, if I was just stuck on one time frame, is I would want to see some type of bottom wick before we see some bullish closures. If we don't get it, we don't get it. Right? Can't dwell on it, but that's just something I would like to see. Can I add text to this? Can. Do that after. Oh, we're waiting. I'm still breaking down this. So I'm gonna keep the same like same levels, kind of. I'm gonna go over this just a little bit because something's going on here, right? So when I drop down to the lower time frames, I'll have obviously more data. Simple. So I'll be able to refine my zones there. But as of right now, this area here is a good target. But even because I'm not gonna be here sitting until price gets there, because it could take a few days, since I'm not really expecting price to come up here today or within the next few hours, which is what we're trading. I'm just going to put a zone here because something's going on here. Some type of resistance is formed. It tapped once, tapped twice, tapped 3 times. If we look left, I don't think there's any data back here. Oh, we're at all-time highs. So yeah, so that's pretty much all we got. That's all we're working with. And yeah, so that's the 4 hour. Daily, stay on the daily quickly. And yeah, so I'm gonna keep this here. And that's good there. And then I would say maybe a level like I want to see how this looks on the lower time frames. The support here. What's going on here, because we could potentially catch something in this area on the 4 hour. Okay, I'm gonna leave this here. I don't know, it's not looking like I gotta see ship print, but I wouldn't take anything in here as of right now just because of the way this looks, but you gotta see ship print first. So have this here like that, and then I'm gonna put the most recent resistance, and then you could say the most recent support is here. But I'll keep this down area just because something's going on here, and data could be telling me some more stuff on the lower time frame. So let me go to the 1. Yeah, so I got a support here, so this is pretty valid. I'm just gonna throw that there, and then this goes up here just to refine it. So that could be a longer term or longer trade target. And some like super scalping. Don't fully need to worry about that, but that's what's expected. That's where price is expected to go from me if we hold like these levels. Okay, so I'm gonna resist here. Price is rejecting to come up here. It's tapped 3 times already. Hasn't gone that way. So this is pretty good here. So I could say that on the higher time frame, like the 1 hour that we're on right now, I could say that if we get buys or if we get closures above here, then we could be in buys. But I'm also looking at this area here, which is pretty clean. Something is okay. So I'm looking at this area. We could fill this area coming down to 258 later today, just because there's some type of support being formed here, which is pretty strong support because NFP last week tapped this level, respected it, right? Here we found support, respected it. Anywhere else, we've tapped it as a resistance before as well. I'm not going to look too far just because I'm already seeing a lot of zones or a lot of candles tapping it and bouncing from it. So 1, 2, 3. And yesterday we even did it 4, 5, 6. We could say 7 as a resistance, 8, 9, 10. So 10 times we've tapped here and haven't broken through. And even yesterday, right, this was a previous zone that we had marked up. So this zone is, in my opinion, a very, 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 very good support level. So I wouldn't be opposed to taking sells below here, to even come down to this range here at 258, and that's about like 70 points. So even a little bit more, but we'll keep it there. There's about 70 points. Now I'm gonna split up this chart just so I can see higher and low time frames. So this is my 1 hour. Pretty. And then let's go to the 30-minute. What does the 30-minute look like? Pretty much the same thing. Fucking OCD. Everything needs to be like even. Although it's gonna get fucked up as I the charts and shit. So one thing I'm keeping in mind for myself is we have news today. So we got core PPI. They're basically red folders, and I know that with red folders, like, it's pretty much basic shit. Every time a red folder comes out, something happens, right? Majority of the time, unless it's like a balanced folder with balanced statistics, 9 times out of 10 price is gonna do something. It's gonna react. So I don't want to be in a trade near that time, and I don't want to be in a trade obviously at that time. So I'm gonna be, maybe I'm looking, I don't know, man. It looks good. Like, if I were to look for positions now, looking at the 30-minute time frame, but I need to correlate with the 4 as well. Okay, let me work back a little. My daily doesn't have a bottom wick. Okay, and if I were to get a bottom wick, it would be in this. It would be in this zone, right? In this zone that I would look for sells. As I can see on the right hand side, right, we marked in this area that is yet to have a bottom wick on that daily. So if we were to come down here, we'd in fact be forming that bottom wick. Looking at the 4 hour, 4 hour would simply just be trading back down, and this could be now starting a new shift in structure potentially, because we've been bullish, and then now we have this drop. We're creating lower highs, and we're coming back to retest those lows, right? So could be something as well. But our closes in an hour, so potentially, like, there could be, if I don't get anything at all in the next hour, then I'd be looking at 9 o'clock. I'd be looking to see how the 4 hour closes, because if 4 hour closes below here, and that could indicate that, okay, potentially we could start driving down, or even if it closes above, we could start driving up. But as of right now, the 4 hour is kind of iffy. It's just like in the middle of an area, and it's already formed a bottom and top wick. So if I were to wait for any positions, I would want to see 4 hour close, and for it to tell me what's going on in regards to that bias. But I still have my 1 hour, and I still have my 30-minute, right? So my 1 hour looks like this. Let me put this 30 here, and let me take it to the 15 on the left side. I have a resistance here, and that resistance is this 30-minute flip, right? 30 minutes on the right hand side. So if this 30-minute were to flip, we would fill this wick and potentially even come back up to these highs, ideally. But we close in literally 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, so that's not going to happen. Okay, interesting. The 5 look like. Okay, so in regards to sells, below here, I'm selling below here, and other than that, I ain't looking for no sells other than below here. For buys, I could potentially have buys up here, but I want to see a little bit more from price, because if I'm gonna wait for a 30 closure, it's gonna be 8:30. News is gonna come out. Can't be in that trade just yet. I can trade a little bit after news, but I can't trade at news. I would have to wait. But if I get a 15 closure above this level, next 15, I could be in an next 15 candle, but do I want to be in that? I'm gonna keep this resistance up here because this 5 minutes showing me some rejections. Having rejections here, here. Let's see how this 15 closes, but as of right now, I'm not gonna entertain any buys. I'll look at the 15. I'll throw in the new 1 hour open, which means that the 1 hour is going to be forming with the news that comes out today. So this is important because if news ends up like completely just dropping price, and then we eventually start to correct later on, then that could just be like, okay, liquidation, right? Like there's liquidity down here. That price went to grab, and we're starting to move now back up, which means that buys would be valid. Then at the same time, if price does the opposite and it goes absolutely skyrocket and it comes up into these areas and then it starts to trade back, then we could say, okay, cool, there was some type of liquidity going on here. And now price is potentially starting to come back down for that daily to flip, because we have the daily flip in the zone. Those are just ideas that I'm throwing out there for myself to process. As of right now, I'm just going to sit on my hands and wait. I think I'll wait for news. I can trade here, like I can. But it would have to be after news. Another idea that I have as well, and it's kind of it's actually what I just said, but in different terms. I would look for fake outs here and fake outs here. Essentially, fake out is, okay, you come out, you trade out in here, but then you eventually work your way back up, you break back into the zone, and then you trade back up to the upside. Right? That's a fake out. But ideally, what this is just liquidation on the higher time frames. It's just a wick and liquidity. So, same shit. Same shit, different toilet seat. I just want to make sure I'm not. Alright, cool. I just want to make sure I'm not. I have my desktop audio muted because I want to listen to music without getting copyrighted, so I don't want to get fucking. But I want to make sure my mic works, which it does. Steering wheel. Wow, feels good to not have a wheel in front of me anymore. Let's watch this. Newcomers struggle to find affordable housing in Canada.
Wow,
They have visitor parking.
Vineet and Diksha Jain arrived in Saskatoon from India last year with high hopes for a better life and began searching for a home.
This looks like really spacious.
Yeah, it's spacious
For now,
plus
it's-
compact.
They saw rising rents, but being new to Canada was the biggest obstacle. With no credit history, references, or jobs, landlords kept saying no.
I was feeling like we should give up and maybe we should go back to our home country.
The long hunt for stable housing held up their path to getting settled in Canada and focusing on finding work in their fields. After 6 months of renting a room, they eventually found a place of their own.
There was always a tension back of our mind that we need to get into some good and bigger accommodation so that we can prioritize and plan our future.
The Gens are among many newcomers to Canada reporting challenges finding housing. In a survey conducted for CBC News, 8 in 10 newcomers say they've had a positive experience settling in Canada, but just more than half say they found a home that is affordable. The cost of rentals continues to grow across Canada, with most units still too expensive for the average renter. The country is rapidly building new apartments like these ones, and that's helping affordability with a record number of new rentals this year. But housing policy experts say construction is still lagging behind demand.
Supply just can't respond quickly enough.
This researcher says an influx of international students and temporary foreign workers created a rapid surge in demand for rentals.
People can get on a plane anywhere in the world this morning and arrive tonight. But we can't get a house on a production line this morning and have it ready for tonight. It takes us 5 or 6 years to get a housing built.
Others say it's a matter of too little housing and argue Canada can't afford to scale back immigration.
But simply saying that we're going to slow the population and therefore solve all of our problems, I think is actually very short-sighted and distracts us from the work that we need to do.
Welcome to our new home, Diksha.
That was actually stupid. The comment was fucking retarded. He shouldn't have said that.
They worry for other newcomers arriving in Canada and say some landlords and
Canada's not even Canada anymore. I don't care. I'm 24 years old. I don't give a fuck. I don't care how long I've been on this planet for. Older heads will tell me, oh, you haven't lived through anything, blah, 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 blah. I don't give a fuck. It's as simple as this. Canada doesn't give a shit about their people. The people that are born here, they don't give a fuck about them. They care about bringing in foreigners. They care about cleaning up other people's shit, which doesn't make any sense. They're so worried about cleaning up other countries' garbage, and bringing in all those innocent people to their fucking country so that this country can get more fucking inflated and just more fucked up, man. These people are coming with more problems than anybody can even fucking fathom. I get it. There's people out there that want to come and have a great life and they genuinely want to build. But what about the other people? What about the other fucked up people from fucked up places? They want to bring fucking smuggling kids. They want to bring drugs. They bring their fucking gang violence back into this country from their home country. Like, they do all these things. I'm not bashing on all these people, these foreigners and shit. I get it, man. Like, you guys want to come and you guys want to come here and have a great life. Cool. You want to build a life, build a family, do whatever you got to do. There's a lot of people like that. I understand, right? But there's a whole sum of people that come here and they abuse the government. And at the end of the day, the people that actually go out there and fucking work and pay taxes, we got to pay for your housing, we got to pay for your kids, we got to pay for all this shit. And you guys ain't paying a fucking dime. And then when you guys go out and work, you guys don't pay a single dollar in tax. And you take up the housing market. It's the government that's fucked up. They should close the borders and stop letting all these fucking people in. That's the issue. That is the issue. That is the issue. When supply can't keep up with demand, what happens? It's as simple as that. People are fucking a product as well. When you're running a country, people are the product. So the more you bring people in, right? The more what? Shit's gonna get inflated, especially if you can't keep up. It's as simple as that. This guy's telling you we should close the borders. Where's this guy? Or we shouldn't close the borders. It's short-sighted. It is not short-sighted. It's fucking simple, bro.
They're saying that we're going to slow the population and therefore solve all of our problems. I think
yes, you need to slow the population so you can actually step back and take a fucking breath instead of flooding it. Like, what happens when you fucking flood your tub with water? What are you going to do? You got to run and turn off the tap, right? Turn the fucking tap off, close the borders, and figure your problems out instead of keeping them open and letting all these fucking people flood in with all their fucking problems. It's as simple as that, man. It's not fucking rocket science. We're not going to the moon here. But no, you guys don't want to fucking listen. I wonder why. No wonder Trudeau's fucking, he turned this country into shit and now he's running away. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. But no, people don't want to act because people get fucking scared. That's the problem. They get scared. They don't want to get assassinated. They have people in their pockets. They have they have everything. They have the whole third in their pockets, but they don't want to fucking do anything. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. That's why I don't even watch news anymore. Turn this fucking shit off. I don't want to see that shit. I don't even know why I turned it on. I thought I was going to get something good out of it, but I didn't. I'm just now mad because this country doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, and I don't understand. US should just invade us already. Close the goddamn borders. Do it like how Poland's doing, my home country. Fucking right. Polska, let's go all day. Do it like how they're doing it. They ain't letting all these people in. How many people are coming to this country that can't even fucking work? Tell me that. How many people are coming in this country that don't even have any fucking legal documents, that don't pay a single dollar in tax, and they're holding up the houses? And then people in Canada. What about the people in Canada? What about the people born in fucking Canada? They're so worried about fucking all these Indians and all these other people coming here. What about people born here? What about the real people, the real people that built the country that are now older? What about them? How much of our tax dollars go to those people? The people that built this country? Huh. Fucking nuts. Fucking nuts. I don't even know why I turned that video on. Now I'm just upset. Back to trading. Fuck this. If this country keeps up with with whatever the fuck's going on, all this bullshit, we might end up like Detroit one day or some shit. Country is not going to be a well place to live in. You can't even build a life now, and they know that. They know that we can't build lives here. Young kids, young Canadian kids, you can't. Kids born here, not fucking foreigners. Kids born here can't build a life here. No shot. Oh shit! I gotta turn the music off. And it's actually a dream how like you see other parts of the world and like you listen to stories about how like people are living certain lives. Like it's insane, man. Like people here in Canada, bro, like you got to get a job that pays at least 100 grand a year now. But people in fucking different countries, they're perfectly fine off 50 grand a year. And that's how it used to be here. But it's no longer. No longer. You make it 50 grand a year, all your bills are going to shit that, you know, you need. But then what about the things that you want? The things that you want, like, to play with, right? Like, you want to buy toys. You want to, let's say, buy a car. You want to, like, upgrade your gaming system. You want to freaking, I don't know, you want to travel, take your girl on vacation, whatever. You can't do that because 50 grand goes straight to your bills and away from your taxes. Okay, let's put it this way. I literally, okay, I built this PC last year. I built this PC, okay, bro, I have the receipts in my hand, bro. I have the receipts right here. I have 3 receipts. Okay, I built this PC last year, and I just upgraded it, literally last week. Okay. Bro. 3 receipts. Okay. Bro, let me tell you. Okay. I paid out about $100 in taxes for 3 parts. CPU, a motherboard, and RAM. For 3 parts. $100 in taxes, nearly. And let's not forget that I have already paid taxes. I've already paid income tax with the money that I used to buy my PC parts. So I paid double, we could say. $200 gone. Or whatever the case was. But let's just say $200. Estimated. $200 gone. I gotta pay taxes with the money that I've already paid taxes on. How can you live? You can't. Let's put it this way, right? Do my math. Quick maths. Okay. Let's say, right? Let's say you do something amazing. You make $50,000. Okay? Let's say hypothetically the government takes 25% because you got to pay 25. No, what is it? No. Let's just say hypothetically. Let's do this the right way. What's our income tax? Canada tax rates. Okay. Oops. The tax rate, 15%, right? So minus 15%. Okay, so if you just get paid 50 grand, let's just say straight up 50 grand, right? And you want to go buy a car with it. First, you got to pay, what's this number here? First, you got to pay $7,500 in taxes. Okay, 15%. You got to pay $7,500 in taxes. So you're left with $42,500. Okay, then $42,500. Okay, cool. Let's not say $50,000 car. Let's say you want to go and buy a car for. Let's say you want to buy a car for $30K. Okay, so you have $42,500 in your pocket, aside from whatever else you've made. 30,000, right? They're gonna that's the sales price, and then you got to pay 13%, right? So plus 13% on that 30,000, which is 33,900. So you're basically paying 4,000 plus. What was our number there? 75. You're paying 4,000 plus 75. You're paying $11,500 in taxes. So in reality, 11,500, right? So you're doing 50. Sorry, not 50. You're doing 11,500 divided by 50,000. Is this right math here? You're paying 23% in taxes in reality. And that's if you're making fucking 50,000. But if you're making 250,000, 33%. How you gonna enjoy your luxury? How you gonna enjoy your money? And on top of that, you don't even know where your money's going. I'm done ranting. I don't want to rant anymore. It's gonna just fuck me up. I'm just gonna get upset. How you gonna enjoy your money? The worst part, you don't know where it goes. I'm done. This is the shit I'm at daddy gonna raise me on. I gotta know. We got volume here for some reason. Oh yeah, 820. Comics open. Hey. It doesn't take an economist to understand basic shit. You're dealing with supply and demand when it comes to the country. Okay, so what do we have here? Okay, so the 1 hour is creating this creating a bearish candle. We're printing down, so we're coming down to the support level. So what's gonna happen here? It's a big question because at 8:30, let me throw this 30-minute on here. At 8:30, if we close below here, we're gonna have news. So there's gonna be lots of volume. So we gotta figure out what's gonna be going on in this area. I don't want to be in a trade right at 8:30. Maybe a couple minutes after I'll be in a trade. But right at 8:30, I'm not being in no trade because we got news here. Okay, big volumes. So I wanna let that do its business, and then I'll be in. So what I can say is, if we get a closure below, the next 30 starts creating a bottom wick. We could potentially get buys back into this range on the 5, going back up, because then that'll be a fake out, and this essentially will become liquidity. And then on top of all that, the daily will have created its bottom wick. But we do get signs. We do get signs maybe on the 15 or the 5, which will then be like, towards 9 o'clock, that we're starting to print some type of structure going down. Then I'll start looking for sells. Five-minute closure. So we got one more 5-minute. Upside down, it's a 9 now. Man, it's getting out of hand. Get it how you can. I got it right now, so I'm everybody's friend. You can't even hear the music. Amazing. I made a decision last night that I'd die for it. Gotta charge my phone because my girl steals my charger. Broads. Broads. Always taking my charger at night. I wanna do major things. NJ in every way. 6 upside down, that's a 9 now. Man, he likes stunning. Shit is big time now. Alright, well, 2.5 minutes. And we're creating a bullish candle. So we might stay within this range. I'm going to keep this 30-minute on the right-hand side because the 30-minute is closing here, but the 1 hour is staying open. 4 hour. What happens? We come down here, that daily's making that wick. And that would be good. If we open up in this area, we drop down, I would wait for buys above here as well. Excuse me. I'll wait for buys above here on the lower time frame, so like maybe like the 5. Like if we come down here and we start trading back up, actually no, yeah, there'll be good buys above 2670, but if we close below here on the 5 and then the next candles following start closing back inside this range, then we can get even buys on the lower end here. And then essentially what that would be is that would be the 30-minute starting to work its way back up and flip eventually. Would be in just a little bit earlier using the 5-minute as confirmation. So let's see. Because realistically all that is 30-minute creating that bottom wick, and then it's starting to come back up to flip. You're in buys early for that candle flip. Once that candle flips, you could move stops to break even or do whatever you got to do to manage your trade for it to go back up. But I'm just looking for 1%. That's my goal. So as soon as I get 1%, potentially I'll be out. Maybe I'll hold it a little bit longer. We'll see. It all depends on what it's showing me. 20 seconds here. I'm sitting on my ass here. I'm sitting on my hands here. Nice. Still no top wick or bottom wick on this daily. Maybe a little one, but I wouldn't really consider that being a thing. So we're coming into this level here. That's the 1E, 1 hour. Are we gonna hold bullish? Let me throw this here. Because if we tap this zone or even trade above, like if the 1 hour closes above this level, if our 1 closes above this level, 1 hour or 30-minute, then that'll be in 30 minutes, that'll be the 4 hour closure above, which means that we're getting good bullish signs to continue moving back up, because essentially what this will be then is this will be a higher low created to continue moving back up to the upside, which means that we will continue the bullish trend, right? But if this 4 hour and 30 minutes closes bearish, it's a different story, right? That just shows you, okay, cool, we're still trading down and trying to come back to retest these lows potentially, and potentially even to continue drive further, but that's later. One step at a time. So right now we're rejecting off this resistance. That's something to keep in mind. So potentially 9 o'clock trades. Just because this 5 is still open, obviously 15 is still open. Let me throw the 30. What's actually another idea is sells below 670. But that's only if we close above. It's either we close above, the next candle closes below, or this candle closes below, and then the previous candle, the next candle closes bearish in this zone. Then I could take the sells coming back down. And then what that would be is a 30-minute flip. And this could, you could say this is some sort of liquidity, but I don't think it would be like you could say there's liquidity here, but there's not much. There's not much of liquidity here compared to liquidity being in this area. Load up that drink. Fucking. Hey. Simple. Simple. Don't need to be emotional. Just gotta chill out. Having that shit. Okay, we're coming below. 1 minute's probably starting to print down. Yeah. Man, I got a fucking shit. Coffee's making me go. Coolio. Looks good. See, I could sell here, but personally, I don't want to because my stops are going to be like 50 pips, which is not bad, but I just don't want to have stops up here. Like, I just don't want to see it. Because for all you know, this could close bullish, we start trading up. If I see this 5 close and then next 5, like, yeah, like as of right now, I don't know, because we might flip. Could we get a trade down here? That's 15. But then my stops, like, that's the same thing, right? Like, my stops would be yeesh. Because I don't have a 1 minute structure to put my stops anywhere. Okay. Oh, wait. How about that? I gotta take a shit. But I could be in a trade here soon. Look at that 5 closure. I haven't even opened up my terminal yet. I already have way. Okay, even this 15, we get closures below here, then we could start hunting for positions. I'm gonna wait. Big fat dude. Go to see. Interesting. Very interesting. Hmm. Hmm. Let's see what this 15-minute does, how it closes. I'm going to keep the 30 on. Daily made that bottom wick. Okay, so what's going on here now? We've dipped into here, this level. Are we going to continue moving down or not? Because we dipped in, but we closed above the zone. Cool. On the 5. On the 15, we're still open as well, right? So, what is this 5 going to do? That's a big question as well. We close in 2 minutes. On the 15, we're going to be closing 8:45. So, if we close below the next 15, I want to see what the next 15 is going to do, because if the next 15 starts forming top wicks, then it could potentially be in sells. And that would be a breakout. Remaining closure here. So what's the deal? What's the deal? Life's so short. Fuck it. I don't want to go to court. We're holding a little minor support here, but if we end up coming down, breaking these lows, looking at about 23 pips. $15 making that top wick. Yeah. Same thing with the 5. Let's see how this 5 closes. If I get a 5 closure below this zone, I'll put sell stops below here, which will be that 15 flip. Throw this in. We have the 4-hour closure coming up at the end of this 15-minute candle as well, so I expect to be out. Or I expect to be, if we're closing below here, I expect to be bearish by the time the 4-hour closes. But if not, I mean, can't really do much about it. These buys above, like back into this zone, they look fine. But I would just have to see the 15 close. I want to see the 15 close in this zone. And if I don't get buys here in this area, then I'll probably look for buys above if we continue going up. So it didn't change. Nothing changed. This was... The gold should be going up. which it did. Now we should be looking for, we should be getting direction for the rest of the session. Cases fume. Pretty flip bullish. I'm not neglecting the fact that we're straight bullish still. And if we get closures above here, we have a higher chance of going up. I'm not neglecting that. Same thing with the 4 hour though. The 4 hour close is actually, I think, going to be a very crucial part in where price is going to go today, because if we do close below here, then the next 4 hour candle has to come down and test these lows. It doesn't have to. You can do whatever it wants, but we're clear for the day with news, right? So unless something comes out like America gets bombed or some shit, which is probably not going to happen, I don't see anything else really affecting the way the price is going to go. So we should be getting our direction, and that will be determined by, in my opinion, the closure of this 4 hour. Like, we close here, we're going down. We close above, we're likely to go back up. So I think I might use the 4 hour as my bias, but if we close in the middle, I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know. We'll see what happens. So we'll see. And I don't need to look at the 4 hour. I can just utilize the 1 or the 30 to determine where price is going to go, because it's kind of the same thing. Like, it's the same candle, right? Like, that's what the 4 hour looks like, right? 1 hour looks similar, 30-minute looks similar. So whatever this close is like, we'll probably see the same thing on the 4. I'll just use this 30. So we've closed back in here on the 5. I wouldn't be surprised if we bump up to 670, 2670, but I'm not gonna take the trade. Although a 33 pip trade. Oh wait. When is call where I'm from? 7 minutes for closures. Interesting. 5 closed above, respecting. Well, I think we're going to be closing this range. Going to be a sticky one. Uh-oh. I'm nervous. All right. Damn, 15-minute top wick. If it re-breaks the lows, we'll be in, or it'll be in a downfall. The big thing is I want to see this 5 close below that range, or below that zone, sorry. Below here. And then I should be in. Stops. Crazy, crazy. What was my lot size yesterday? 7, okay. Just placing a sell stop below. So I can slide it up faster. 2 minutes. Daily's reflipping. 4 hour closes 1 minute. And like I had mentioned earlier, right, if we were to close above here on the 4 hour bullish, then we'd be obviously looking to continue this trend back to the upside on the 4 hour time frame. But since we're closing bearish in a minute here, hopefully we do close below the zone, we should be coming back down here to retest these lows. That's ideally what should happen. Like, that's, in my opinion, the probable play, but we'll see. $15 as well, right? Like, it's the same thing that's going on here, but like it looks cleaner on the 15. We wicked back into the range, and then we just ended up closing below. So that could be more confluence that we're going to be going down here. So let me just throw in my sell stops at the close. I'll be on the break of the lows here. Unless we make a steep top wick, I can move my stop loss, but as of right now, I'll be on the break of those lows. So yeah, my stop loss is here, and we like wick back into the zone, then I can move for the flip, but as of right now, we keep it on the break of the lows. Let me just run my shit. We're starting to flip here. Are we in yet though? Not really. My stops will be like in the middle of this range, a bit above these candles. Make it a little minute. Put it up here. Okay, we're in. This might be a quicker trade. I'll probably go break even here and potentially even close because that's about 2% there for me. Template. Copy that link. So the idea, right, is like we close below here, the zone on the like 1 hour, 30 minute, like we close below. And on the 4 hour, we also got a bearish closure after the news and after forming like liquidity and all that type of stuff. So price should come down here and test these lows. But at like the utmost minimum, we should fill this, we should be filling this 4 hour wick. And yeah, that's what I'm using to the highest possible. So in regards to managing risk, we close back above like 2665 on even like the 15 minute, then I'm going to start looking to get out of positions a little bit earlier. But if we're like, yeah, like I'm just going to wait for closures on the 15. Potentially even the 5, but we'll see. See what this does. I'm just checking what my percentage would be. Like what percentage I'd be risking if I was up here. It's around like 13%. But I ain't gonna do that. Okay, so on this 5, right? Like we closed like basically indecision. So if we break these lows, we should be able to come back down to fill this wick at least. And once that happens, then I'll move my stops to BE. And yeah. Are we gonna have a quicker move? Okay, so we broke the lows. What do you want to do? Back to me. I didn't close anything. Can I not modify this? Almost there. Okay, I closed full right there. Bing, bang, and the boom. So closing full there. 15 is breaking the previous candle lows. See what it does here. I could say this was a breakout. It was a breakout trade, right? Can't just, oh yeah, there we go. All right. Just a little tiny bit under 1%. I'll still be here though, maybe for another hour, see what happens. Because it definitely there's more opportunities for positions. Did I throw this in here? Sweet. Oops. I'm putting this time here, I'm putting a timestamp for the stream, just so I can come back to it in the future, and review this trade. But that's the stream. And what do we get here? Sells, right? Sells, XAU, breakout. I did break at the previous low on the 5. Yeah, we did break at the previous on the 5. We won that. We profited. Bro, why am I paying commissions? I gotta look at this shit. 8.7. I remember that if I just do this, does it add a percentage? No. Okay, I gotta put these in as percentages here. So insert, no. Format as percentage. There. If I do like 3. No, it doesn't show as percentage. Okay. Okay, so I'm up 4.5, close to 4.5%. So good. One loss this year. I don't remember what loss this was. I didn't document this trade, but it's okay. I should have, but I didn't. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Nice. Get rid of this because we're still in the mix. I still could get sells, but pause. We gotta wait. Allow price to do its thing for a bit. Daily's flipped. Should be coming down to that zone. So I just want to re-review this trade that we just had. If I can pull up that chart, that'd be nice. You know what? Yeah. And we close what on this level here? So apologies. Let me do something. The musicals from. Okay, so market's still open. Obviously, it's doing its thing, but we're not in the trade anymore. We closed over here at. Yeah, we did 1% today. So I just want to re-review it for myself to understand. What had happened as I came to the charts this morning was this daily didn't have that bottom wick, and because it didn't have that bottom wick, it was still printing like a bullish candle. I was anticipating that there would be some type of bottom wick today. I just didn't know when, and we had news at 8:30, which was core PPI. So, you know, as news started to, you know, approach, I was like, okay, potentially, like, you know, we're gonna have some bottom wicks here on the daily, right? Like forming. So what had happened was news came out, and you just obviously, like, there was a lot of like spikes. And if we look at the 1 hour, right, like we pumped up to 2674, and we also at the same time we were printing down here at one point at 2660, but we didn't have any closures yet. We were still hovering within this range on like the 30-minute and the 1 hour. Now obviously on the 5-minute, right, this was that news that came out. If you look on the left hand side, this is the news that came out, right? Like we jumped all the way up here on the 5, and then literally minutes later we closed at 2667, and then at the same time, right, the candle after that, right, like we did the same thing but totally opposite direction. We came down, we wicked all the way at 2660, but we closed back in the range, right? So we were hovering within here. And at this point in time, right, like it's 9:20 almost right now. At this point in time, we were approaching, not approaching, but it was maybe about 8:45 or whatever the case was. But I knew, okay, at the back of my head, the 4 hour is going to close soon, right? So a little bit of my focus was, okay, well, this 4 hour closure, depending on where it closes, as long as it closes outside of this little range that we're in here, my apologies, let me just drop this on a higher time frame on the left hand side just for reference. So my idea was like, okay, cool, like if we have our ranges established, right? We know that there's a support down here, which is major. We know that there's a major support or a major resistance at the top at 2674. So my idea was, okay, cool, if this 4 hour is still open, but we're closing shortly here, the next, let's say around the time I had this thought was, I would say maybe 8, like I don't know, I was thinking about it early 8 o'clock, but even towards the end of like 8:45 or whatever the case was, closer to 9 obviously for the closure, I started to think more, and I'm like, okay, cool, like if this 4 hour closes below one of these ranges or below this range or above this range, that could help us with ideally the direction for the day, right? So this is what happened at 9 o'clock, right? We got a bearish closure below the range. So I knew, okay, cool, there could be some confirmation for us to start coming down. And right at the open at 9 o'clock, this 5-minute candle opened up like this, and it closed like this, indecision. And I had actually had a stop, had a sell stop at the break of this previous candle low. So we did actually get entered, but it closed like this, and then next candle spiked down, and yeah, I closed out at the fill of this wick, which it did fill on the 15. Make it a little bit more cleaner to view, right? It did fill on the 15, and also on the 30 it filled that wick, and I got out right at the wick fill, closed 1%. And that's pretty much it. Now price is obviously pulling back. Do I think it's going to continue down? Who knows? Honestly, at this point in time, I'm just going to let price show me what it wants to do further. And I might get into one more position, but I wouldn't care if I don't. Like, I've already closed 1% today, so I'm pretty much on the side of clocking out today. But if something sets up nice, I'll be in it. But that's pretty much the trade that I took that got me 1% today. So let's go. Well, not 1%. We'll put 0.9%, but close to 1%. If this 15 flips, that'll be the break of these low or break of the support. If we get a closure below the support, we should head down to fill that wick and even further. But I probably won't be in it. What's with these commissions? Gotta see this. What is my broker saying? Funds out, funds out. Memory. We're flipping here. I just gotta look at this account that I have. They have a private group. For 50 grand, you get a diamond. Like, you get like diamonds. Like the class you're in or the tier you're in. You get direct message to the chief trader. Free VPS access. Weekly 30-minute private group call. Why only 30 minutes, bro? I'm paying you guys 50 grand. Priority support. Direct message to prop traders. Indicator request. Analysis request. Access to instruments. Access to commodities. Crypto. Access to FX. Still in that wick? Yo, I ain't gonna change my camera settings because I think the glare of the sun is actually pretty cool. So, we're gonna keep it like that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Turn on the silence. Go to the okay. So I got a raw account. They have standard and raw. So standard is competitive spreads, no commission. But my raw account, which is what I have, is spreads from 0 pips, but up to 7% in commission. So I'll fucking pay you guys. I don't want spreads. I'm in and out of the market, so I'll pay you commission as long as you get me in and out when I need. That's it. For freaking real, dude. Okay, that's a little bit too much there. What's going on here? Sun's nice, man. No, that doesn't do anything. Can't fight with the sun like this. There's no way around it. In this way. I want another cup of coffee. Okay, so I'm only using 13%, now 16. 16 is fluctuating. 16% of my GP or CPU. %33% of my memory. I gotta get more RAM. But I needed to downgrade. I have 64 gigs now. %65% GPU. Apparently my power usage is very high on MetaTrader. The 15-minute, previous 15 closed, new 15 minutes just opened. We also got a new 30 open too, which is good. And this 5 minute struggling to break this support, right? So who knows what could happen here, right? Like these next 5 minute candles could trade up a bit, maybe back up to this support that could react as a resistance, or it could trade up here and not close above, and then we can start working our way down. And if we start working our way down on the 5, then all this is on the 30 minute is just the top wick to flip, right? And then the flip here, if we flip like here, then that would just be the break of that support. And then on the 5, if we close below, we'll be able to go down. But that's the support that's holding, right? So that support doesn't want to go down. But this 30 minute, oh, it's making a top wick. Who knows what could happen here? Got range here. 20 pips. Damn. Five's gonna be closing bullish in a 30-second or 50 seconds. Important to see here on the lower time frame that we're starting to get in this range. There's an obvious resistance and an obvious support. And on the 1 minute, you got a resistance here and you got a support down here, right? So this is the range you're in. It's important to say that, or it's important to see that, okay, all of this, right, is this top wick. If this wick flips, then it should fill that. And that wick flipping and filling will be the rest of this area here, right? So it'll come down and then it will flip. And if it starts breaking this previous candle's low, we'll be breaking the low here to continue going down or to continue going up. You don't know, right? But it would be likely, depending on how structure starts to form and how candles close, start going down. But I don't want this open. Let's see how this current 5 that opened up, let's see how it closes. See, pushing down, it's starting to come down. I want to play COD. I got shit to do. Cruddy. Flipping. So the idea for me is if we get closures below here, I could be in sells. But that's only if we get that 5 closure. One minute's holding that support. At least that's what it's showing at the current time, but yeah, see, so we closed bullish at the support. So what are we gonna see? We're gonna see that breakout? Or is it gonna continue trading within the range? We don't have anything else coming out, like 10 o'clock. Schmid speaking. Tomorrow CPI, Friday or Thursday. Unemployment claims, which is fun stuff. Friday, not too much stuff. Okay, what do we want to do here? We got 1 minute for the 5. What do we want to do here? Going once, going twice. Show me the beans. Show me the beans. Okay. This idea to go down below this range is still valid. understanding one simple fucking thing. And that thing is that price, when it drives, it needs to exhaust, right? So we had a drive here, and all price could be doing is exhausting. So we had a drive. It could be starting to exhaust, tap these levels, and then begin to drive to the downside. It's a simple understanding that price is just exhausting. But you got to allow price to form, right? You're not always going to get what you want. We expected closures below. We didn't get it. Okay, fine. But that doesn't mean that it's invalid, right? Price could come up a little bit and tap this area. And if it taps this area, then this support that I have drawn, or this resistance that I have drawn here, right? What is this area here? There could be a little bit of liquidity, or there could be liquidity up here, right? But it could come up here and then begin to come down. And all that is just the exhaustion on the higher time frames. It's still valid. It's just on the smaller time frame, you have more data, you have more candles closing, you have more data to look at, right? You can identify the support and resistance zones a lot more clearer because there's more data, there's more candle closes. Here, you can't really identify the support and resistance, right? Unless that's where you're looking for entries on the 15, but I'm looking for on the lower time frame, so got to utilize everything. See, maybe this 5 is going to close below, this will be flipped, and then the next 15, right, it could actually drive down. But we're spending this whole 15 just doing this, right? So that means we're ranging. Just looking at some political entertainment for myself as I wait for these candles. New 15. So we're still good, right? Like we're not closing above this old support level. Well, it's not an old support level, but we're not closing above here, right? So as long as we just stay below here, we can go down because we're not closing above, and that will then act like a resistance level. Gots to wait. 30 still open and making that top wick, right? So in 12 minutes here, the 30 could flip and go. Now what we could say is, like, it's the same thing, right? Like the 5, we get closures below here, we can go. You don't like. Another 5 closing in the range. Man, I could have played at least the game of Warzone by this time. Oh. I could be a singer. So this 15 is flipping. See how it closes in this range. Wait, what? This is pet friendly? All right, we're topping this level, but we still have well, this 5 minutes closing, right? So how is this next 5 minute that just opened? How is it gonna close? That's my question, right? If we're gonna close bearish at this level, then like that's basically showing that we're respecting this level. But if we're closing above this level, then that also means that the 15 minutes closing above the level. And overall, that indicates that we're closing back into this range that we have drawn out here, right? So this whole time, what was this? It could have been liquidity or a fake out, and we never hit this level here, and we're coming back into here, which means that we could be able to drive back up. Just a fake out. And if we want to look at like higher time frame, well, you can't even, you could say it's a fake out on lower time frame, but even like over here, like we tapped this level. Like if we were to drop a support for 1 hour, the most recent support would be this one. We tapped it, but now we're just now we're just going back up, right? So what this means is that, you know, if we're closing back into that range in here, then on the 1 hour, sorry, we're looking at the 4 hour here, but on the 1 hour, close back into the range, then that just means that we're still creating this higher low, right? Overall, right? So we're not breaking past this higher low here, right? These two that we have formed here. We're not breaking past it or closing below it, which means that the structure is still valid to go up. So that could help us with our decision making and how we're going to get into positions, right? Like, do I want to take more buys? Potentially. Okay, well, if we close above here, we know that on the higher time frames, we're still closing above the zone, which means that buys could still be valid. And the daily's flipping back bullish, 4 hours looking like that. Very interesting. But I'm also looking at hotels here because I'm going to take the girl somewhere. 1 minute for closures. Are we gonna close above? I would say we didn't close above. If I were to refine the zone, the 15, that's what it looks like. We didn't close above there. And same thing with the 30. So we gotta wait another 15. If this 15 closes above, then you get reassured, but that's not a closure above. No shot. No shot. That's more like a closure zone. I'm okay, like if I miss this, cause that's not a closure, right? So do whatever it needs to do. I really don't mind. Plus the candle's still open, right? So anytime now, like this 15 just opened up. This is the first 5 minute of the 15 candle. This is how it's forming, right? So what if the next two candles, the two 5-minute candles, what if they start printing bearish and they close back below that range? What would that be then? Well, that would be this candle flipping bearish and closing bearish. If it closes bearish, it has a nice big top wick, which means that what? There could have been some type of liquidity here, right? And if that's the case and people get liquidated, then this candle would close bearish. Then I could be in sells with a stop loss above there, back down to retest these lows and potentially even go further. That could be an idea. But you got to let price tell you what it wants to do, and then you follow suit. Five-minute closings are the range. Last 5 minute of the 15. And the 30 still open. I think I'm gonna call it. I think I'm gonna call it. It wasn't my idea to let you in. I want to play a game. See how it runs. Game capture. Game capture. Sorry, wait a minute. Let's try a game. Yeah, so 15. Oh, it closed. Just straight bull. Bang. Bing, bang, boom. But it didn't close above here, which means that this resistance is still a valid resistance, right? So who knows what could happen now? Like, we could be stuck in here or we can continue driving. But in reality, I mean, I've already made my percentage for the day. So
Enemy soldier incoming.
I've already made my percentage for the day, which means that I'm not going to go and chase trades. If I were to take more buys, it'd probably be above 2674. But other than that, yeah, like, I'm done for the day. I want to see how my frames are while I'm streaming. Oh. See you later, Gator. Holy shit. GPU's at 66 degrees. Nice. I'm gonna need my other fans aren't plugged in, so I mean, that's important. I'm dead. Bro, let me unmute these fucking guys. You guys suck. Holy shit, you guys suck. Oops. I'm glued back on the charts now. Oh my god, my desktop audio wasn't even a fucking thing. That's tough. Yeah, I just want my frame. He can text me. You on about? Yeah, I think I'm done.